Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is 21 nations are now dumping dollars. Now, you remember back in 2010, Shane Warren had this vision, and he saw that the dollar is going to ultimately be worthless as leaves blowing in the wind. But the thing that started it was when they started selling oil for another currency, which started August 24th of 2022, when Saudi Arabia started selling oil for something other than a dollar. And he said that many of the nations would start looking for a way to try to crash the dollar, specifically to kill the dollar, to kill America. Now, why do they want to kill America? Because America is the world's police officer. We are the wall standing between the New World Order and putting their man, the Antichrist, on the throne, requiring everybody to take the mark and bend the knee and worship him. And they will stop at nothing to get their goal. I've got some startling information, and today, sometimes I just read through the articles a little fast. But today, I think it's one we've got to just stop and think. We've got to let it really soak in what is being said, because prophecy students can get hardened to the information coming. And sometimes, especially me, we get to thinking, well, it's somewhere over the horizon. It's going to hit somebody else, but it's not going to hit me. But today, I think it's time for us to say, okay, wait a minute. This is real. It's about to hit. Am I really ready? Am I really ready for it? Okay, here we go. Man refuses to accept store's cashless agenda, is told police are on their way. A man in the United Kingdom, I know what you're thinking, that's the United Kingdom, that's not America. You have to understand, Bible says they're not just going after the United Kingdom, they're going after the entire world. It's just that right now, this is just one of the first places, but it's coming to a store near you. You can count on it. In your lifetime, you will have this happen to you. Get ready. A man in the United Kingdom entered an Aldi store to buy some strawberries with hard currency. Despite the store's ban on cash transactions, he laid down the exact change. His money was refused, so he went over to the counter, got his strawberries, and left the store anyway. Store employees called the police, said he was stealing. The day is going to come. Let it soak in. Think about it, okay? The day is going to come when you will have to make that decision. Strawberries or not, today. Then tomorrow, it's going to be access your money or not, and eventually buy or sell or not, all the way down to lose your head or not, deny Jesus or not. It's where it's going. Banking insider warns CBDCs will be implanted chips. You got to listen to this one. Richard Werner, a German banking economist, was selected as a top 100 global leader for tomorrow by the World Economic Forum. Now, we want to know the World Economic Forum would call him a traitor, but we call him a truth crusader. So he is exposing the plans of the World Economic Forum, a group of people out of Switzerland, which is the head office of the people pushing for a world government. Some of the most evil people in the world come out of Switzerland. Sorry, Switzerland, but I got to tell the truth. Okay, so one of the top global leaders in the World Economic Forum went there, heard something he didn't like, so he's telling the truth. He's not keeping his mouth shut the guy probably going to wind up dead here shortly if he's not already. So he recently warned against central bank digital currency that will initially, hope you're listening, will initially be accessed with a phone. What'd I tell you? I'm telling you, your cell phone is not your friend. Come a day when you won't be able to access your bank account unless you have a cell phone. Come a day you won't be able to access that cell phone unless you have got your iris, probably your fingerprints, maybe even your blood sample, your DNA taken, and eventually you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have that mark. I put this in my book, Miss the Mark. I strongly recommend you go to prophecyclub.com and get it. This is a simple book. It is written for anybody, any religion, even an atheist would read it. And if they'll read the first few pages, they'll finish the book. Not long, it's not complicated, but if they'll read that book, they will never take the mark of the beast. It actually has a picture in it. Now, once they see the mark of the beast, when it comes back, the Holy Spirit will bring it to their mind. Hey, wait a minute. I've seen this before. And perhaps you giving them the Miss the Mark book, prophecyclub.com, might keep their soul out of hell. And those people that take the mark of the beast, they do not get soul death. They are not tossed into the lake, burning with fire and brimstone for soul death. They are tossed into the lake, burning with fire and brimstone with the beast, the false prophet. 1,000 years later, Lucifer has joined them, but they are tormented. What is torment? It's eternal pain. It's, try to imagine getting burned all over constantly for all eternity, and there is no pain relief. There is no escaping it. It is the worst punishment for those people that take that mark of the beast. He recently warned against central bank digital currency that will be initially accessed with a cell phone. But ultimately, the goal is to implant, please, I hope you're listening, implant a rice-sized chip under the skin of users. Now, Ken Peters said he never saw a chip. That doesn't necessarily mean there's not a chip associated. I personally suspect that they won't be putting chips under the skin, but they could, okay? I suspect this cell phone, this is the chip. You're carrying it already. Now, it won't be this phone, it'll be another phone. Ultimately, the goal is to plant a rice-sized chip under the skin of users. He said that people would be lured into this system with universal basic income. We've talked about this. Okay, so try to imagine a time the central bank digital currency comes out. All of a sudden, cash and coins won't buy your strawberries anymore. You have to get this app on this phone, and it may not, according to one of the dreams, it wasn't even a cell phone you can make phone calls on. It is a cell phone that is just for purchasing things. That makes sense, doesn't it? And it's linked up to all of the Starlink satellites, which are low Earth orbiting satellites that are linked to the quantum computer with artificial intelligence provided by the benevolent, if you can believe that, the benevolent extraterrestrials, okay, in other words, the devil, so that they set up the system and they say, oh yeah, we're going to put, say, $10,000, or maybe it's $50,000. Let's take the number. Let's say it's $50,000. All people on the planet Earth have $50,000. In this account, all you have to do is sign up, take one of these phones, it's free, take one of the phones, sign up, and you can have access to $50,000. We've talked about this before. Okay, so how many people are going to not do that? Well, all of the homeless, right? Matter of fact, everybody's going to do that. The only ones that will not do that are those people who have read Revelation 13 and believe it and know that that is the mark of the beast. They will know if it's not the mark of the beast, it's one more step to it. People would be lured into the system with a universal basic income. He recommended that banks should be set up locally and that it could delay or even prevent the introduction of CBDCs. Well, we know that is in prophecy. We know it's coming, and it's not going to be stopped. The whole point is there is a great test coming. If you want to be an overcomer, and I do, you got to be able to see the beast, hear the beast, but not take his mark. And I'm telling you, it is going to be the greatest test in human history. I'm telling you, most people alive with a beating heart today on the planet will take the mark. Let's go on. The Bank of International Settlements published a report called The Blueprint for the Future Monetary System. Okay, these are their plans. That proposes that a CBDC will serve as the new reserve currency. Did you catch that? A digital currency, not just America, all across the globe, a digital currency, and calls for the confiscation of all physical property. You remember what the World Economic Forum said? You won't own anything, but you'll be happy. How do you suppose that they reach to the point to where no one owns anything? Somehow they got a plan. I don't know how they can do it, but they do. They would make that statement if they didn't have the plan. And these guys have plans already 50 years into the future. Every day, everything they're going to be, probably every minute of the day, what they plan doesn't always come to pass, but they plan it. A new reserve currency which calls for the confiscation of all physical property. Oh, they'll get my gun when they pry it out of my cold dead hand. And they're saying, okay, we don't mind shooting you. We don't mind killing you. Remember, we've had dreams. It's not just blue hats. It's not just a foreign army. It's Nephilim, giants, 7, 8, 9 foot tall, 1,100 pounds. The only thing that'll stop them is a major rifle bullet to the head. And you're going to resist them? I'm saying our greatest protection is Jesus and our knowledge of the Bible and walking with him. Let's go on. Every real-world item will be assigned its own unique digital token that will contain rules on how each item may or may not be used so that each person can be controlled directly by the central bank. Your wedding ring, your car, your house, the mirror in your bathroom. Who knows just how pervasive it's going to be? But they've told us this. In so many words, none of this is a surprise. None of this is new. The question is, can we get it? Can we get it? Can we open our ears as prophecy students long enough to believe what the prophets and what the Bible has told us? If it goes on to the article and it shows these chips. Now, I do not know what the chip is going to look like. I'm still not totally convinced it's going to be a chip. And this lady says that the banks are currently, not planning, currently getting to the point to where they can shift your accounts, currently open in the bank, shift the money right into the FedNow or the FedNow. They can shift it right into being digital currency. And she says, and she shows the article, without your knowledge. Okay, so how much longer do we have to wait before we wake up and say, okay, all right. My wife tonight, we had a discussion. One of the congregation members a couple of weeks ago came up to me and said, I've got a little bit of money. What do you suggest I do with it? And I said, well, I'm a pastor. I can't give financial advice. I said, but I can tell you that here's what a lot of people do. If my mom were to call, is what, and part of what I told her, and Leslie and I were talking, is probably, how do I say this? This particular lady had her husband die, like 5 years back. And I do not know the amount, but apparently it was a pretty sizable amount of money she got. And she was asking about if she should do this or this or this. And again, I really can't give advice. I said, but what I really suggest you do is call cornerstoneassetmetals.com. These guys are experts. They're prophecy students. They follow Prophecy Club. They know the things that are coming. They can give you some good advice. And I did say that we do know that Shane Warren was told in an audible voice of God that silver is going to skyrocket far more than gold. Now, I can't guarantee that, and I don't know when that's going to happen, but if the lady were to ask me, I'd say, depends on your situation, see? That's the reason I really can't give advice, but let's put it this way. It'd be better to have it in silver than leave it in the bank and let the bank just take it. And I got another article. I don't know if I put it in here today. Another bank. That's right. I decided not to put it in the article or in the program today. But another bank confiscated all of the money in a business bank account. Took it all. No explanation. The people are saying, I don't know what's going on. I didn't know that banks could do this. We haven't done anything wrong. Why is it they've taken all of our money? Again, like the bumper sticker says, you can get my gun when you pry it out of my cold, dead hand. Well, we might want to be saying that about the money in our bank accounts. You'll get my money when you pry it out of my cold, dead hand. And the banks say, again, okay, we can do that, no problem. We don't mind doing that. Because putting our man on the throne is more important than you and what you want. 21 nations, including our allies, are now dumping U.S. debt at an alarming rate. And this article went on and on and on. It had lots and lots of proof of what he was saying. I'm not going to cover all of it. I don't think I have to. On July the 18th, U.S. Treasury revealed that top foreign holders of U.S. Treasury bonds, debt, are selling off their holdings at an alarming rate. Why? Well, because they see that gold or that oil is being sold in something other than a dollar. They know that the CBDC is about to come out. You see, people that have a lot of money are smart. And they're probably smarter than me and you put together. And the more money they have, the more connections they have, and they know what's coming. I'd like to think they only got it from the Prophecy Club, but they probably didn't. And you talk about a whole nation that is selling its treasury bonds. Obviously, the people that run a whole nation are smarter than me and you. But we have one advantage. We're listening to what God's prophets say, and so we know more than they know. And to a certain degree, have a pretty good idea when it's going to happen. This is important. Japan, which is the number one holder, reduced its U.S. Treasury bonds by $30.4 billion in May. China by $22 billion in May. China's been steadily reducing its holdings since August of last year. Do you think they know something? Yep, they do. They know that the dollar is going down. They know that America's going down. In April last, at least 19 countries globally have sold off U.S. Treasury bonds, leading to a reversal in the flow of funds invested in U.S. securities. Now, what does that mean? It means that they know that the dollar is about to tank. We know for the prophecies say that it drops 30%, then another drop to 50%, then another drop to 66%. Shane Warren was shown that it's going to be worthless as leaves blowing in the wind. The problem is for us prophecy students, I mean, even say this, can we get it into our head? Can we get it into our heart? Something that bad is coming to our nation. Can we get ourselves out of the easy chair to pick up the phone or go to the website, cornerstoneassetmetals.com, and say, okay. I got some money. 401k, I don't know what it's in. I got some money. It's put over here. What do you suggest? If whole nations 19 nations are dumping dollars, and you have money in a bank. I mean, I can't give you advice, but do what people that have a lot of money are doing. They're dumping dollars. So why this is so interesting is the Caymans and Bermuda are two island states that so many companies and individuals have these offshore hidden accounts. He says, in fact, if you've ever been to Caymans, all you see are bank offices everywhere on every corner. So even banking nations are fleeing U.S. debt T-bills. Even strong allies like the UK, which is the third largest holder of U.S. Treasury bonds, sold off $14.1 billion in May, marking the second consecutive month of U.S. debt reduction. See, this is exactly what Shane Warren said exactly. He said that they will begin to dump the dollars. The dollars will start coming home again, and then the dollar will start losing its value. Now, if everybody, let's say, for example, your car is made in America from all American parts, and all of the dollars across America drop, let's say 30%, then the value of the car rises 30%. So your value went down, the car went up 30%. But the problem is all of the parts in the cars are not made all in America. Matter of fact, just about nothing's made in America anymore. So what does that mean? That means that China and all these other nations that are making just about everything that we use today, everything from our light bulbs, our cars, things in our house, our cell phones. I mean, we don't make cell phones. Or I don't know. I guess maybe we do, or at least some of the parts. It means that the value of the dollar is about to start dropping. We've had a lot of dreams and visions from a lot of different people telling us this is coming. What do we have? 14 different prophecies saying that the dollar's about to fall. So what I'm trying to get you to do tonight, McFly, okay, I'm trying to get you to think. I'm trying to say, look, I love you. You're a prophecy student. You're a Christian. And the Bible says, I don't like this verse. I'm not going to quote it right. But the Bible says that the children of the world are brighter than the children of light. In other words, people that are not Christians tend to be smarter than us Christians. Sad to say, but there's a lot of truth to that. But I'm trying to say, you prophecy students, you're running out of time. I'm trying to say, you're running out of time. You're running out of time to call CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. You're running out of time to get food by calling JosephKitchen.com. JosephKitchen.com. You're running out of time. The BRICS nations are holding a meeting August 22nd. And several of the articles have said when they come out of that, they will be dumping all of their dollars. They're going to just totally go away from the dollar. August 22nd, let's say, well, that's what, about 3 weeks away? You're running out of time, my brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, you're running out of time. Australia sold off U.S. Treasury bonds for the second consecutive month, $6.5 billion. This is billions, representing a sell-off of 11% of all of their T-bills. Israel sold off $3.9 billion, reducing its holdings from a peak of $69 billion in December down to $43 billion. Israel has been a continuous state of selling off U.S. debt. A lot of nations are dumping dollars. We're told about this, but that's the point I'm trying to get across. I'm trying to say, you're running out of time. It's not a joke. You're in trouble and you don't know it. It's like somebody has a gun up to the back of your head, the hammer is cocked, and you don't know it. I'm trying to get you to turn around and look down the barrel of a gun that's about to take your finances. Saudi Arabia sold off $4.9 billion in May. Saudi Arab's holdings have declined from a peak of $184 billion 2 years ago down to $113. That's a lot. With a net sell-off of $73 billion to sell-off rate of about 40% of their dollar holdings they've sold off. UAE sold off $1.2 billion. Iraq has been selling off U.S. Treasury bonds continuously since February. This article here says the Fed is killing our currency. Well, why would they do that? Well, you don't suppose that all of the bankers are all Christians, do you? Do you suppose that maybe some of those are actually trying to see that the world's police officer, the Christian nation, is killed so that they can put their Antichrist guy on the throne? Yep. Let me close with this. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, guys, ladies. I'm trying to get your attention because I love you. I want, when the dollar dies, I want all of the Prophecy Club people to be in good shape. I don't want to hear any screaming. I don't want to hear emails of people, husbands and wives, coiled up in a fetal position, sucking their thumb, crying and screaming because they lost all our money, they don't have food, they don't have water, they don't. Because I've done my dead level best to try to warn you. josephskitchen.com for food, emergency food. Go to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. Ask them. Just say, here's what I got. Okay? Maybe it's not much. Call them. Call them. It doesn't, look, a phone call doesn't hurt. Call them. See what they say. Maybe, just maybe, they know more than you about what to do. Look, I already talked to Terry Saka, and he's coming on either Monday or Tuesday of next week. We've already been talking about this. He's very, very concerned. We don't want to see Christians hurt, but I'm trying to tell you, you're about to be in a world hurt. If you don't move, as my dad would say, get off your duff. So get off your duff and get to making some preparations. I love you. Let's talk about Joseph Kitchen. I actually cooked this loaf of bread you're seeing here. Takes me about 10 minutes to put the ingredients together, put it into a bread machine, push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, I get a loaf of bread out like that. Now, if you cut that loaf of bread that weighs about 3 pounds, the loaves you get in the store have most of the good stuff removed. The loaves you get in the store are about a pound. That's 3 pounds because it's got the good stuff still in it. Cut that into 14 slices, and if I eat a slice in the morning and the afternoon, I'm satisfied. So on that basis, one loaf can sustain, I didn't say it's everything we want, can sustain one person for a week. Based upon that, it'll get you excellent nutrition. It tastes good, long storage life, 10 minutes to combine the ingredients, 2 hours, 20 minutes to make it. Other wheat that you order arrives in paper bags, which means bugs, rice, humidity can get a hold of it and ruin it. But at Joseph Kitchen, they send it out in 100 mil thick buckets. Gives you long shelf life. It's stackable. There's some nitrogen infuses that hopefully gives it much longer shelf life, kills bugs and things like that. Easily resealable, keep in a climate-controlled area. And they have it in stock. This is a picture, an actual picture of part of the warehouse. Here's another picture of these. Actually, each one of those boxes holds 2,500 pounds of wheat. And I think they've got 54 of those boxes, a bunch of them. So Joseph's Kitchen can ship it to you right now. You go to most of these places, they say out of stock. So here's what you want to do. Everybody needs to get a machine package. These are the things that you need to grind the wheat berries. Put them into a grinder. 30 seconds later, you have flour. You put that into the bread machine along with 6 other ingredients. Push a button. 2 hours, 20 minutes later, you have a nice hot loaf of whole wheat bread. Then you have to decide how much food you want. You want food 2 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 6 people 1 year. And if you want to make certain you have it when the electricity goes down, you can also get yourself a solar generator, all at josephskitchen.com. josephskitchen.com. Terry Saka with CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. So, what's going on in the world of finances? Why should they call today?
Well, China has laid out in a speech a few weeks ago exactly what they think of the United States. I haven't seen that in my 55 years. With China and Russia forming these reserve currencies, new reserve currency, we better be prepared because that dollar is going to be in deep trouble and we're going to need assets to protect us from it.
CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Call them or go online, CornerstoneAssetMetals.com, or call them at 888-747-3309. 888-747-3309. Next is, I'll send you to EMPShield.com. If you use the promo word prophecy, you get a $50 discount. What is that? Well, it looks like this. This is the one that goes into a car, okay? And you put the red wire to the red side of the battery, you put the black wire to the black side of the battery, and the green one attaches to the body of the car. Then you peel it off right back here. Just peel that off, stick it inside of the engine compartment of your car. And the whole point is when the electricity goes off or when some kind of a suitcase nuclear device goes off, this is supposed to be able to stop that device from destroying every computer chip in your car. Because if every computer chip is destroyed in your car these days, you couldn't possibly replace them all. Throw the car away. So, EMPShield.com, promo code prophecy. Secret door to understand Bible prophecy. It will help you to understand. It's not complicated, but it is deep. Because to understand Bible prophecy, well, let's put it this way. I wish I had had the book 30 years ago. It would have helped me understand Bible prophecy. It would have put so many misunderstandings that I have had through the years in place. Matter of fact, when I started getting these 30 revelations, because I memorized the book of Revelation, I learned a lot. I learned a lot I did not know. I think I went to school with Jesus, and I don't think I'm something special. Matter of fact, I don't even think it came because I memorized the book of Revelation. I think you're something special. I think he gave the book to his end-time saints, his end-time watchmen, so that you can explain to people, so you can be a part of the great move of God, the great harvest, the thousands upon thousands of souls that are about to come to Jesus. And if you want to share in that harvest, you need to be able to explain Bible prophecy, and the Holy Spirit is not going to put up with you teaching a bunch of errors. You got to know what you got to know. And that is, you got to kick out that idea thinking that there's going to be a pre-trib rapture. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's other things, you got to learn. And this is the reason I think he gave the book. Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, prophecyclub.com. prophecyclub.com.